If we can, let's call this meeting to order. Simon Fairfield Public Library Trustees. Today is October 24th. We do have a quorum, and I got minutes, so if I got minutes, everybody got minutes from the last meeting. So let's start with that, and any corrections, questions?
Yes.
Good.
Hey, we got one.
Deb Hutchins sessions cost $55 each, not $45.
Alrighty.
And that's it.
Glad you read them.
I always read them. Bated breath.
Yeah, me too.
It's my job.
I read them.
I type them.
You do a very good job too.
Yeah.
My W doesn't work on my computer, so that's very tricky.
Is it the A or the I? And I'll be typing along, and you know how often you use those letters, and it's
Yeah.
like they're all missing from.
Yeah, well, I didn't know how much W's are used
Yeah,
till
I have
this
a nice
happened.
mechanical keyboard at home.
Yeah.
It's,
I could get another keyboard and just plug it
Yeah.
into the computer, which I've done on all.
but it sounds like you need a new computer too,
yeah.
given
The blinky
stories.
blinky.
You an Apple person?
No,
No.
no, just the
A
phone.
friend of mine buys used apples. And she gets it for no money down. I mean, nothing. And they recondition them, and she uses them all the time. You know?
I've never used a Mac.
I think
Yeah.
I did back in the 80s
Yeah.
They're
where I worked, but
Okay. Any other
Right,
corrections?
let's go on.
Yeah, I know. We gotta get back to business.
Yep.
Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Okay, and a second, that's it. Great.
except as
That's correct.
As corrected.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good, let's move to treasurer's report.
Ramona's not here.
Yeah.
She's still on leave, but I have balances in our accounts and expenses as of this morning. And so you can see what we have, what we've spent, what our balances are. We're still just kind of, on track for the fiscal year.
Mm-hmm.
We've expended roughly the same percentage of our budget as is the fiscal year as is over, or however you say that.
yeah.
We did get our $720 disbursement from the Greater Worcester Community Foundation into the Carrick Fund.
Okay.
So I've got $1,000 there now. I don't want to spend it, but we'll get to that later.
Okay.
Very good.
Right.
How much did you get last year?
8,000, or not 8,000, 800 and something, I think. I talked to the people at the Greater Worcester Community Foundation. They said they don't know exactly how much the amount is going to be every year.
Yeah.
It's just going to be
Right.
something.
Depends on the market, too. Yeah.
Right. Any other questions on the treasurer's report? The unofficial treasurer's report.
Yeah, we need Ramona back.
Yeah. Do I need a motion to approve that? Because it comes from
I
Justin.
never,
Yeah, I
I
don't think
never
so.
put it in there because I never included,
Yeah,
nobody's hearing this. I never included in the minutes.
right.
So I put a little summary of it, but I don't
Mhm.
put this whole report in.
Yeah, okay, so that puts you up on the spotlight again.
All right,
As
director's
a
report.
director's report.
Circulation in September was horrible. I don't know what else to say other than circulation in September was horrible. The door count was also down by almost 1,000 as per usual. I guess I don't know if other people were doing other things in September, but it was just a very, very slow month. With the exception of online database use, because our online database use has been, or our online databases that we get through Gale have been put on the school's website, so kids can now directly go into our public databases to search now. So the high school or the middle school librarian is sort of pushing kids into our, research site. So that was a boon. Other stuff going on. I've met with Karen Boyle, trustee of Old, and we are working on collaborating with other libraries to have a Blackstone Valley Author and Artisans Fest. Tentative plan is to have it in White and Common next June. We have yet to figure out what all the roles of the libraries will be in that, but
What's it called again?
definitely we'll have the Blackstone Valley Artists and Authors, I'm sorry. Blackstone Valley Authors and Artisans Festival is what they're calling it right now.
And who's spearheading it, Karen?
Community
Community
center.
Center. The
Yeah.
community
Well,
center?
no, it's an independent committee that's sort of risen up. A person went to one in Sutton because they had an authors festival in Sutton,
Oh.
and she liked it and wanted to do the same thing and thought it would be better to sort of do it on a bigger community scale than just one town. So they formed a group, some independent group, and then they contacted Karen Boyle, who then contacted the library's directors in Douglas, Grafton, and Sutton. And we're just kind of reaching out from there to see, get wheels spinning on this and see what kind of traction we get.
Yeah, now who, usually, I think it's probably through the Whiten Community Center, and they are an independent nonprofit looking to raise money, so who gets the applicants, the people that come, the vendors?
That's going to be handled by the committee, because the committee is actually going to be renting the Whiten Community Common, whatever that park is there that's
It's
next to the community center.
Yes.
So the community center is not directly involved, except
they
for
are.
they're
They
just
own it.
renting. Yeah, but they're just renting it for
Yeah,
use.
using the space, to use their space.
Yeah.
You know what, one thing might be to think about, I know that you've had, the YMCA has contributed partly through their CFCE funds for Deb Hodgins and that. One thing that these groups do is story walks. Are you familiar with story
Yeah,
walks?
Sturbridge
Okay.
used to do that. Yeah.
So maybe contact, it's Beth Gaylor, who's the contact person there. If you wanted to, I could, because I know her professionally and personally, about possibly doing a story walk. Now, I'm assuming that you're trying to get authors to come to this, right? So you'd have like...
Yeah, it's very, very, very primitive in development so far.
Okay.
And I am not going to be doing a lot. I'm just sort of, I guess, the point person for the libraries. Like, they want the libraries to give us, to give them advice on authors and vendors and whatnot. So that's what we'll be doing. But anyway, continue with the story
Yeah,
walks.
so, if you want, I can get in touch with Beth. And,
And the children's librarian in Sturbridge does them every year, and they're pretty, they walk around the graveyard and
yeah,
up and down the streets.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we did something like that at the Ecotarium with Ephraim a few nights ago. It was a lot of fun.
Just ride the train.
Do not ride the train.
I should.
Not the Ecotarium, not the Ecotarium. The Autobahn in Worcester.
Oh,
Broad
right.
Meadowbrook.
Oh.
Because right now it's Boo Meadowbrook.
do you have
Oh,
do you
cool.
have a date for that yet? No.
Tentatively June of next year.
Okay.
But even if they don't do a story walk, maybe it's a contact person that we have our own story walk.
Exactly, because
If you forward me that
You've got
information,
them, right?
I can forward that information to the committee
I
that's
not
planning the
personally,
thing.
because I'm not a
Sure,
children's
I
librarian,
will.
but the-
We'll get some
the
credit for it,
children's
you know,
librarian did
for
do
what
it
it's
in
worth.
Douglas.
Yes.
I mean, in Sturbridge.
Sturbridge, yeah.
Yeah,
I will. I'll
Sounds
forward
like a neat
that to
idea.
you.
yeah. I think he posts things on trees or phone poles or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's all different ways you can do it. The original way, it's a woman from Vermont who came up with the idea of trying to correlate early literacy with physical activity, so that getting people off their duffs and getting out and walking around to read a story. So you take the book apart and you post it, you laminate it, and you post it whether it's on stakes or trees or fences, and so people walk, whether it's hiking a trail in the woods or just around a field or whatever, so that they're walking and reading the story together. It's kind of a fun thing.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
We should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do it at the state park.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that would be fun to do.
I have a
Something like
whole
that.
bunch of story walks already made up.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Alright, what else is going on? I've struggled for a long time with where to put like community postings, like because we have some bulletin boards, but 2 of them have ended up behind shelves, just the way that the library's been rearranged over the years, and they're small. And so we have the 2 giant windows in the foyer. So what we've done is we've taken eye hooks and mounted basically the equivalent of 3 little clotheslines along those. And instead of having a bulletin board that we put things on, we're using clothespins to put up papers. And so now we have separate sections for like the official town postings, because we get a lot of those. The legals and the water sewer reports, and then another section for just community events at large, the people to bring in a separate section just for our stuff so it doesn't get mixed in with all the rest of the wash, and then a Blackstone Valley Library section where we can put the programs that are going on in other libraries. And we used hay twine so it looks all rustic and cute, and I'm kind of proud of it.
I'm going to be having an essential oils class within the next couple weeks. Date's not certain yet, but a person reached out to me and she's going to do it for free, and that's awesome. I'm giving a presentation at the Mass LNC conference. This is kind of a funny story because back months ago, the CW Mars representative in the Mass LNC, which is like a cooperative of entities that are sort of devoted to improving Evergreen or ILS since it's open source.
What does that stand for? Mass.
Mass.
And what is it? What is
I have
it?
no idea. It's MASS and then capital LNC.
Library Network Committee.
Massachusetts Association
No.
It's just never.
for Special Stuff. MASS.
How many of you know what CWMR stands for?
Central
So
Western Mass.
No.
Central
Western.
Worcester.
No,
No,
Central West.
Western.
Central Western.
Central
Yeah.
Western? I always thought it was Worcester.
Automated Network. Let's see, CW Mars.
Automated
Automated Regional
System.
Yeah, something like that.
It's the Central Western Massachusetts Automated Resource Sharing.
Oh, man.
Network is nowhere in the title of CW.
Are we fired?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we
Yeah,
were
but it's not going to get paid.
we knew what the
Yeah, you
CW
were.
were.
Yeah, there we are. Central Western Automated Resource Sharing, CW Mars. What does Mass LNC stand for? I'm on their website, and it still doesn't.
Library Network.
The
Consortium.
tagline is Evergreen Libraries Working Together to Make Great Things Happen.
Wow, that is really a memorable tagline.
So we've got, it started out as a partnership between CW Mars and Noble, which is the North of Boston Library Exchange. Since we all use Evergreens, like let's collaborate to figure out ways to make it better. And now Bibliomation, British Columbia Libraries Cooperative, Evergreen, Indiana, Georgia Public Library Service, and Lake Agassiz Regional Library and Northwest Regional Library Consortium, I have no idea where those are all part of the Mass LNC. And they're having a conference in Devens next Thursday. And a couple months ago, they asked us if we wanted to present on the floating collections that we started. And Jennifer Woodward and Anne and I all agreed that we would kind of do that together. And they billed it as a talk. We're going to have a talk about this. Well, Jennifer and Anne aren't here anymore, so it's just me. And it turns out the talk is actually a presentation in front of an audience of 75 people. So I've got to come up with a bunch of
talking points.
in completely valid and edifying information before next Thursday to present to these people.
You'll do fine.
And where is it?
Devon's, I think.
Oh, Fort Devens, okay. It's Thursday.
Yeah, it's not Ford anymore, it's just
Devens, okay. Up near Groton and those places.
Right off
Up
Route
there.
2.
Let's see. We did hire Rebecca LaValle as a library assistant, so she's on payroll now. That makes me happy. I'm still have a grant in to get her a stipend for specifically the historical inventory she's doing. But she's pretty much trained, I think. She's going to work this Thursday night with Gail, and she's going to work this Saturday with me. And then if she's comfortable after that point and we feel like she's ready, then she'll be able to take Thursday nights and Saturdays, on her own. And that'll be great. And I'm interviewing pages right now. I've interviewed 3 so far. I've got 2 more to go. And then we'll have to hire and pay. And I guess that's the end of my director's report.
Any questions?
Circulation was bad, so I had to come up with a bunch of other
Yep.
ones.
All right, well, hopefully it's a better month.
Do you have any, just any idea?
I really don't know why circulation was so bad in September.
Usually it picks up then
I
to
know.
school.
I think it's a combination of the wonderful weather we've had, plus people getting back to schedules with school and everything, and I don't know, maybe it's just like,
But it's an
Put that in.
anomaly because August is really good.
Mm-hmm.
It was better than August before.
mm,
And so
I know, and it's pretty, if you look at September of last year to
It's
September
off
this
quite a
year. Yeah. Interesting.
Okay, let's
It's
go
not,
on
it's not a
business.
trend, so let's, we
I
don't
know,
worry about it.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't fire me yet.
yeah, right.
Don't worry.
You're not out the door yet. So let's start with building renovations, parking lot. So it certainly wasn't lack of parking, because we've got a great parking lot. It looks awesome.
Yep. The
Again.
signs and the rail are up.
Yeah, the highway department and John and Adam, we can't say enough.
They
Yeah.
did a
You know,
great
if
job.
you
They
see
actually
them, you know them, say thank you.
scrounged up some extra material. So, like, if you look, they actually did put in the crushed asphalt all the way to the guardrail,
Yeah,
which it
I
wasn't
saw that.
before.
Yeah.
When I contacted Pine, because they're like, we really need more material to finish this job. So I contacted Pine. They're gonna that's gonna be about $1,100 worth of materials extra on top of what you've already done so far. But the highway department acquired material from leftover projects and cobbled together enough to fill it in, and it's filled in.
Great.
And Adam is going to try to fix a light we have on the back of the building, floodlight, on Friday. I tried, but my ladder's not tall enough. So, gotta call in the big guns.
Okay, good. And we're working on having our neighbor's car moved, which would be nice. And it's a car that's in the back, and it's 98% on library property, which we'd like to have it moved before winter.
Yeah.
That would be very nice. And I got a price on some trees to go across the back from Western Nurseries. Small 3-footers, which is the smallest I can get, at $35 a piece.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's
a good
all right.
very
price.
decent.
That's my cost. Okay. So, and he's kind of doing me a favor because it's a library. But, I don't know. You want to do 10 of them? They're American junipers. They're very...
They're the ones that go tall.
Yeah, but they do get a little fatter. Okay. Where there's some that'll stay slender and stuff. I had several slots to choose from, but I figured that one, it's kind of a native, it's hardy.
It'll fill in quickly.
Yeah, it'll fill in, let's say we did 10 of them,
Sure.
right? I can make a motion that we buy 10 trees from Western Nurseries at some not to exceed $400 because the price I think at 35 is not with tax. You know, and I can pick them up this week. You know,
So that is a good time to plant them?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We shouldn't have to pay tax.
Yeah,
The
we're tax
library is
exempt.
exempt.
If
Yeah,
I get
no,
an
it's-
invoice with taxes, Gene won't pay it.
Okay, well, it's coming,
So-
you're buying it at my rate, so my company will pay the tax on it, and
Yeah,
I'll
but I'm
just,
not sure that the town will reimburse you
we won't tell them, we'll just say that it's.
because it's like a conflict of interest.
Yep, absolutely, but if we don't buy it at that rate, you're gonna pay another 40% on top of each one of those plants. So it might be just smarter to buy things at that cost and not pay their wholesale price, I mean, a retail price.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around the kind of invoice that I'm gonna get. Because the invoice
I'll
I
write
get,
you an
I'll have
invoice
to-
from me,
Right, that covers
Yeah.
the cost.
Okay.
Yeah.
you know. And they'll
So
be-
maybe we should make it more, maybe we should make it instead of 350, make it 500.
Well,
To
400.
be sure to cover
Yeah.
everything.
No, we'll-
400 will.
Yeah, 400 should cover
Okay.
that, but the other part is, I'll keep it at that, you know, and then.
As long as I have an invoice from Arbor Alliance that
Yes,
doesn't
that's
have a
it.
tax line on
Right.
it. then
Oh,
I'm
you
good.
won't. And then, if I get it this week, come November, they don't guarantee plants anymore for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the time it'll be through the winter. So if I get it before then, we'll have a guarantee, not much, 120 days, which is the middle of February, so, but they are green plants, so if they do expire, that'll change.
I have the plans up in my office for where the planning board wanted them.
Oh, cool.
So if you want to take a look at those,
You-
we just kind of want them as far back as possible
Yeah.
to preserve as much lawn as we can.
Yeah, and also, at that point, being close, it would be, you know, we get a lot of snow, there'll be, you need a place for the snow. It will kill the plants if we stack the snow up on them. All right, so we can move that back. So just, email me that or text it to me or whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
And the money for this would come from
Building.
the building renovation? Okay.
So I made a motion on that, not to exceed $400. With that, can I get a second?
Second.
Right. Is there any more discussion on those? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Great. Any other building renovation subjects? Things you want to bring up? If not, we can go to historical collection. Do we have anything to report on that?
We have the agreement.
Oh, cool.
Because this is the exact same agreement as we had last time. We're just going to need 2 signed copies, one to keep at the Historical Society, one to keep at the library. And the Historical Society Board approved it. So once we sign it, they'll sign it. we'll be
Didn't we
good.
have, remind me, didn't we have changes that we wanted, and did they implement those changes in the text?
Did we have changes?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I
did.
didn't bring any of them.
I don't have
There
it.
was
I
a
didn't
typo,
find
I
it.
know there was a typo that she was going
Oh, that was.
Yeah, but no, Rebecca saw it on somebody's. but-
Here we go.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know how many details I wrote on there.
Here you go.
Sure that should the SFPLD be defunded and closed, the DHS archive library collection will be moved back to the Douglas Historical Society in Jinx store. So it takes out all that stuff
Yep.
that we wanted, and I think that was the only change we had.
Okay.
There was a typo somewhere up here, but, and I don't know what it was. Somebody else. Either- It was
Yeah,
you?
yeah, I did, but I don't have it with me either, so I don't
Okay,
know.
well, you can look at this one and maybe you can see
See if it's
it.
fun
Maybe you'll
again.
find it faster with your editor's eyes.
That's your old one, you want that? Oh,
Yeah, that's
it
what,
wouldn't be in the new one, would it? If it was corrected.
She probably corrected it though, because she saw you mark your paper.
That's right. Well, I don't see it now.
Of last. Cannot be responsible
Lost.
for lost. Okay,
Yes,
yeah, it's
okay.
fixed.
Got it.
All right, so this just needs your signature and my signature, and then we'll get the Historical Society president's signature, and then we'll be good to go.
On both copies, huh? And I must be here.
Now this is taken off. We've also obtained some binders. There were 2 binders of South Street Cemetery, I think, materials that used to belong to the Daughters of American Revolution. They entrusted them to the Historical Society. They found them at a junk store and wanted to move them to the library for access. And that ended up being like, okay, we need a letter from you to you, and from you to you, and from us to them. Because you have to have this paper trail before you take possession of anything. So we got those 2. The archive is growing. It's growing rapidly, and I've got to clean up the basement to make more space.
Don't
Yeah.
go outside, it isn't worth driving.
It's bad out there. Yeah. I did talk to Buzz Ballou, Howard Ballou, about, or my husband did, about the highway movies that his grandfather made, and he's willing to, get us to change them into a format, because it's in Super 8 form right now. And, yeah, and he actually has a camera still that is.
I think my mother-in-law probably has a projector.
Yeah, but I had asked a while back, after we had talked to Buzz, where to get something like that done, and you didn't know off the top of your head. Does anybody know where?
East Coast Video.
East Coast Video. Okay.
I think they're in Connecticut, Thompson, or something like that.
A new target we have is apparently there's a 16mm film out there somewhere of the Boston Red Sox game.
Oh,
It was here
wow.
in town.
It probably was it's probably 16 millimeter.
Anything else on the historical collection? We can go from next to the grant updates. We got any updates for that?
No updates. I'm not expecting any updates until January.
Okay.
They're in.
Let me let Ellie finish writing. Next one is the Vanguard funds to Bartholomew. How are we doing?
I chatted with Matt Wojcik today, and he was going to. They're having a selectmen's meeting tonight, and Rich Bowen was at the meeting, so he was going to ask that. It was nothing to do. He's not going to ask at the meeting. He was going to talk to Rich Bowen about it. So hopefully to get more updates. So.
Right? Well, you're not off the hook there, because the next one's Friends.
Okay. All right. Let me just write down Matt.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Tonight. Okay, Friends. We had we raised $777.67 at the book sale.
Well, that's like a
That
record,
is
isn't it?
insane.
Well, between the two, it's like, I think we did about 600 at the summer one, so that's $1,300 that we
Wow.
Awesome.
didn't have before. Then today, we had a personnel meeting, and Kristen Stevens is on that committee, and she had worked in her working days at Texas Instrument, and she asked, she said that if she does 80 hours of volunteer work, Texas Instruments will present the place that she's working for with $1,000. So that seemed like a good match for me because I said, "You're pretty organized. Would you like to sort books?" And she said, "Yes."
There you go.
So, I think right now, I don't know when the year for them is over, whether it's over in December or if it goes till March or what, but,
Probably June 30th.
so anyway, I'm gonna say, yeah, I'll probably talk to Lisa Boudreau, the president of the Friends, to hope that she likes that idea too.
Oh, that's great.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that will be more money for the extras for the library. So.
Great.
Awesome. Plus,
Um,
plus getting that work done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I mean, poor Justin was saying, "Why didn't you get help?" And I said, "But then I have to explain everything to whoever I get to help,
I know.
and then I never get anything done." And so if she just can do it, I'll explain it once. That's fine.
Yeah, well, that's
I
good.
did ship off 40 boxes to Better World Books.
Excellent.
That's out, and I'm 19 shy of shipping out 40 more.
Okay. Well, then I'll,
So,
okay.
It's getting neater in there because we have some books that have gone through book sales since I've been here and look like they've gone through a number of years of book sales before I was around. So there comes a point when you just got to let go.
Right.
So you've got room on the shelf for new stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping that the next book sale we have will have a whole lot of. We'll have less that we have to book cart up, but
Yeah.
it will be new, fresh stuff
Right.
that people will be interested in.
Well, I think Christian, what I tend to do is just put all the A authors together for fiction and all the B authors and the C authors and stuff. But I don't put them in alphabetical order again, I don't put all the A authors in alphabetical order, which would be helpful, to have them all together. So she can do stuff like that. And I mean, she's very organized. That will be very helpful. I might have to get a key for her, though. I'm not sure if she wants to do the same hours that the library's open, but I don't think he'll mind if she sneaks in the back door or something like that. But I'll have to warn her not to do it during story hours or anything like that. So, it'll be good.
Okay. Any other old business? Can I move to new business? And if I do that, well, I don't know what this is, but it's environmental monitoring report.
Can we table that till the next meeting?
Absolutely.
I realized I left the binder in the library after I got to my car, and this was right as the floodgates of the heavens opened and released all the water, and I didn't want to go back in there.
That's fine.
The
But in
gist
10,
of it,
yeah, tell us in 10 seconds. What is it?
it's the Gregor Trinkus Randall, who's sort of an environmental support, archive, preservation, building, disaster planning guru in the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners, installed 3 data loggers in our library, different places in the collections, and they were there from February until July, tracking temperature, sunlight, relative humidity to establish an index for like the preservation of our materials and how long we can expect them to last depending on the conditions. The gist of the report after a binder of information about this thick is that we should just keep the thermostat on 60 degrees all the time.
Really? So,
It's a little chilly. I mean, my
Yeah,
staff
we're
would
gonna give
mutiny. It's not
people,
going to happen, but
Yeah.
in the ideal world for the materials, that's what we would do.
Sweatshirts and sweaters.
Yeah, but that is a bit cool, I think.
Yeah.
And pricey in the summer.
Yep. Yeah, in the
Oh,
summer.
Sure,
Yeah.
oh my God. You talk about people
course,
not
the
coming in the
winter-
library.
Yeah.
The winter, it's pretty easy to keep it 60 degrees in the basement, and Deb and Rebecca survive by having space heaters down there because our heat is only zoned. We have the first floor is heated, and then the children's room has its own
Yeah.
heating place. But like where the children's librarian works, her storage, where the local history archive is, and the friends room are not technically heated.
Yeah, it's not
They just get
efficient, is it?
radiant heat from the pipes that go through, but there's no radiators.
And the
or
warm
anything.
people that are
Yeah.
in there.
But they have space heaters they put up down there to keep from freezing, but then it flips the circuit every 20 minutes. So it's
Yeah, no.
it's kind of a nightmare.
Yeah.
Unforeseen consequences of starting to make more use of the basement.
Sounds a little risky too.
Yeah. Okay. Next is programming.
Programming. Me and Deb have been talking about how we have historically been using cultural council funds and how we have been doing programming. And I want to see less big ticket one-time events, because like we have these summer reading program guys who come out, and of course we're already set for next summer because Deb plans her summer reading programs pretty much as soon as the previous one is done. So like performers for next summer are booked. But I mean, these are performers who come to the library one time and charge, $350, $400. I mean, some of the big ones will charge $650, and like I just say no. And I get lots of emails just saying, like we want to apply for a cultural council grant in your town, and we want the library to sign off on it. And my strategy for the following summer kind of wants to be to just tell these people, mind your own business. You can apply for a cultural council grant if you want, but the library's not going to endorse it. And I'm looking at you, cultural council person, because I would much rather have, instead of 3 or 4 $450 grants to fund these performers, have one $1,500 grant that would just cover something that would last all year. Because, I mean, my experience with programming is that, especially for kids, parents have a routine. They have a weekly routine.
Right.
And right now our story times are seasonal. So you get into the routine, but then it's gone. And then it stops until another story time starts. And I really want to just get things happening every week. So I want to shift that kind of stuff, which would make sort of programming more robust year-round slightly, but make summer reading program a little bit less of a big thing, which I think would be a good trade-off, because I would rather have a constant flow of traffic than just, getting in the 50 people who come see the puppet show and leave.
Right.
As a step towards that, what I would like to do is we have had mountains of positive feedback about Deb Hudgens, who's been doing the story time, the music movement story time with us for the past 6 weeks. And that's sponsored by the GCCC.
CFCE.
CFCCE.
Whatever. Getting deer in the headlights. Look.
But they
Funded by whom?
It's CFCE. It's the Department of Early Education and Care.
What does the F stand for, though?
Coordinated Family and Community
Coordinated
Engagement is the
Family
name of the grant program.
Okay, the Department of what?
Early Education and Care, EEC.
Education.
I know, and acronyms, we love it. Don't drown in alphabet soup.
CW Mars.
Okay, what's CFC?
Coordinated Family and Community Engagement. And actually the state on our end is pushing for this, exactly what you're saying, not to spend the $600 on the one-time big show, but to use that money to spread out and try to reach as many families as possible.
Is this for the CFCE or
Right.
for the Cultural Council?
The CFCE.
Yeah.
The Cultural Council is open to anything.
Can the library apply for a grant as opposed to you deciding that, or having the performers come to you and say, we want to work in your town and wow you guys, and then you say, okay, let's put it in the library, and so then the library's sort of out of the planning picture then. So if would you look at it as strongly if it comes from an agency in town?
Now you're talking about the Cultural Council?
Yeah, I'm not talking about the other
I don't-
one.
I think,
It can happen that way, yeah. That a performer just.
Do you have it used to be, I remember seeing in the paper, Cultural Council grant applications are due on such and such a
right,
date.
yeah.
Do you,
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah,
We just, in fact, we
already
just,
should be in, yeah.
yeah.
they should be, you should have them
I
by
think it's
now?
October 15 was the day.
I think, yeah, we have another round coming out. I missed the last meeting because I was in bed with whatever I had wrong with me. But Nora and I had worked together for a couple hours on trying to get things straightened out. So we were looking at I don't know what happened. Were you at there was
I
a
missed the
meeting?
last one.
Okay. One of the things that's happening is that Douglas Orchard is really wanting to get more actively involved in town activities, and they have built or they're in the process of building a stage.
Yeah, they have.
And they
there's
want
a
to do
pavilion,
performances there, and we're considering a shift instead of having all, how we do like the concerts on the common, but to, again, have a more ongoing thing of something happening up there at the orchard every week or every couple of weeks, and then open it up to more, whether you have more vendors, you have more tables, you have more opportunities. So I would say Cultural Council is certainly open to that, of doing something an ongoing. I think that's a much better use of funds.
I do too. I
For
have to
reaching
persuade Deb
families
still.
and
There's still some
providing
persuading to do.
services. For an ongoing thing. Maybe the first week or two you don't get a lot, but then word of mouth starts to spread, and you get more and more people.
Well, with Deb Hudgens, we started with like 12 people, I think, came to the first one. 2 weeks ago, we had 32 people for a Tuesday
great.
afternoon.
Because
program.
everybody goes home and says, "Oh, you know what I want?"
And I want to keep it going.
Yeah.
But it is $55 a pop. And so if we're talking about every week, that adds up. That's $2,860 a year. But the CWCCEC
No, CFC.
Whatever.
I wrote it down.
is willing to fund 18 weeks of that.
Awesome.
And so that takes off $990. And I'm hoping that y'all will let me use the Carrick donations fund, the Carrick grant. Last year I used the Carrick money on ukuleles, and we had $321 left, and we just got $720, which brings us up to $1,041. So if we use the Carrick money on that this year, which I've already communicated the desire to do that to the Greater Worcester Community Foundation, and they're happy with that use of the funds, then that would bring the remaining costs down. Well, anyway, just looking at it that way, if we use the Carrick money, and then that would see us up till February 27th, if we had Deb Hudgens every week. And the Greater Worcester Community, or the...
February 27th.
Yep.
Okay.
That's how many weeks it would last.
Well, it depends on are you going to skip some weeks?
And some weeks will probably be skipped, but I really kind of want to hammer it and get every week. Either that or do every other week and come up with another program to do in the intervening time. That way we have something similar going on in the same time slot.
Yeah.
The only problem with that is if you've got people who are saying, "Oh, I want to go see Deb Hudgens. She's there on Thursdays at 10 o'clock. Oh, but wait a minute, she's not there every week, it's every other week. Oh, I can't remember whether it's, an on week or an off week." That's where you run into.
That's the stinky part.
Another part of it is to run it and then don't do it for weeks like Thanksgiving week.
Well, no.
Between Christmas and New Year's. School vacation weeks tend to be a big week.
But you tend to not do anything, or not you. The Douglas Library has never done anything on the school vacation weeks.
I tried. We
For
tried
kids?
we did the Winter Wonderland performer
Yeah.
last year, and we ended up having 2 kids come.
Yeah.
And one of them was my son.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that didn't work out well. That was
Right.
a big misfire.
Maybe if you can figure out how many weeks it will pay for, and then look at your calendar and say, okay, even if you did 3 weeks on and 1 week off, or something like that, so that people have a better idea. I find when you're scheduling things, if you try to do it every other week, you end up losing people halfway
Yep.
through.
So is the CFCE, I wrote down 18 weeks. Was it really 8 weeks?
18. Because it's
18.
6 times 3. Which is 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because they do 3 grant rounds a year, which historically we have used to do the STEM program.
Mm-hmm.
But we had some not good feedback about the STEM program, so we used it on Deb Hudgens this time, and it's worked out worlds better. So, and that'll be 3 grant rounds where she will be funded by them. Then if we use the Carrick money, then the remaining cost, if we wanted to have her, you know, for the theoretical 52 weeks of the year, would be $830, which I think that we could easily fund from
Friends.
grants, friends, however we want to crumble that cookie.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So do you need a motion to spend the,
I guess I need a motion to approve spending the Carrick donations on Deb Hutchins for the indefinite future. Or just, you know, see how
Yeah.
long
Right.
we can make it last.
Right.
so if I made a motion to spend the carrot funds on Deb Hutchins'
Program.
program, could I get a second? That would,
I'll second that.
there we go. We get any more discussion on that? Any other questions? All right. With that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
You have anything else on your agenda? Okay, so our next meeting is November 28th, which is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. It's not a problem for me. How about anybody else?
Good.
Okay. While we're bouncing numbers around, I just peeked at a calendar. Amazing, these things. December, our meeting would be the 26th,
Sure.
Me.
right? Anybody have,
Yeah, I'll be away.
No, I'm not doing that.
yeah.
Okay, and we don't want to go before then, do we?
The 19th would be before that.
Or we could. I don't
I'd
know.
rather go the week before than December 26th because there's a
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well,
family.
that's vacation
Can we
week, and
just
we don't.
skip a month? Is that allowed?
Well, you have to.
Not
that.
much
We did
happens
that
The week
last
Yeah.
after
time,
the
didn't we?
26th
Yeah.
of January anyways.
Well,
yeah.
no, we didn't do it. It's just we didn't have a quorum, so.
Yeah,
And we
Oh.
messed up ourselves. We're supposed to have it every month.
I mean, if we
We're supposed to be-
postpone it by a week, we're just 3 weeks from another meeting.
our next meeting would be January 23rd.
Is that a five Tuesdays?
Yeah, that's a 5 Tuesday month.
So we could do-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
We could do it the last Tuesday in January for that one if we did it. The
Doesn't
first.
matter.
When's New Year's?
Well, then you're going to do
New Year's
well,
is
Monday.
Monday.
So
Yeah, the
January
first.
So you could
2nd.
go to-
That's all.
Yeah.
January 2nd's okay? Or not?
No, that would be fine. I'm just thinking December 26th. A lot of times we have family, although we're in Massachusetts, one's 150 miles away in Truro, another one's over here, so to get together, it's hard to, sometimes you extend it over a couple of days to get together, so.
Well, how about someone making a motion that we suspend the December 26th meeting? Let's see what that
Well, I don't
happens.
want to wait for the next meeting to be in January late because
Okay.
we have to review him.
Yeah, all right, so
Right,
So.
how about if we made a motion that we move the meeting to December 19th?
I'm good with that.
Good with that.
Okay, so that's kind of a, if I made the motion, then that's a second, right?
Yeah,
Right? Barbara, you checking? You
Yeah,
wanna,
no, that's okay, I think.
do you think so?
Okay.
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah, all right, let's do that. That sounds like it'll work. All right. Any other comments on the December meeting? All
So
those
I
in-
get reviewed in December. It's a good time to
Yeah, be good.
take off
Yeah.
vacation or something.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a good time to get sick.
Go home. Anyways, let's all those in favor to moving the meeting to December 19th, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, but our next meeting, which hasn't changed, is still November 28th,
Okay.
right after Turkey Day. With that, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, and a second? And a standing vote, and I want to thank everybody for showing showing up in the horrible weather. I appreciate it, and we'll see you the 28th.
All right.